Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. Okay, so Tiger's question. So in a previous video, he has just gotten a Sea Dweller, and he had a question about mechanical watches and if it's better for a mechanical watch to run slow or fast. Okay, his is apparently running -1 a day, which is great. Okay, that's great. But the question is an interesting one. Would you rather have a watch running slow or fast? Okay. Now, of course, I don't need to tell you that if you can find a watch that runs perfectly, okay, that's the best, obviously. Or, you know, um, I remember seeing some, I guess, inserts that were included with older Rolexes about how you could, position your watch at night and it could gain or lose time. And I don't know if that's still the case. I don't know if that was just the older Rolexes, and I think it was something like, yeah, I don't want to misquote it, but if you put the watch face up, it'll either, yeah, like I said, I don't want to tell you wrong, but just Google it, right? How to uh, position your watch to lose or gain time. But I've heard that newer Rolexes, they're pretty consistent no matter what position they're in, so that little trick doesn't work. But obviously, if you've got a older Rolex and it runs a little slow and you can speed it up at night, I mean, that's how cool. How cool is that? You could just sort of self-regulate it. You'd never have to really reset it. Just using the resting positions at night to either slow it down when it needs to be slowed, or you know or if you need it to gain time, position it that way. But okay, aside from that, okay, so would it be better to have a watch that runs slow or fast? And I think we all sort of, I think, should I give up or should I keep going? Okay, fuck it, I'm gonna keep going. Okay. Okay, we should. We all sort of look at watches like if it's running fast, it's almost running a little too well. Okay, whereas if it's running slow, it kind of has this feeling of sort of petering it out, and so I think our impression sort of is that a watch that runs faster is more favorable. I think it's just the impression a watch that runs fast leaves on us versus one that runs slow. A lot of people will say, well, you won't be late for your appointments, you'll be early. But I think when you step back and you think, okay, it's not really, a watch that runs slow, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, the I guess the balance wheel is just going slightly slower than uh, what an atomic clock would be keeping. Okay, so there's nothing intrinsically bad about a slower running watch, even though I think we just sort of have an impression that it's better to have one that's running fast. Okay, so that having said that, I would say, you know, which is better? Well, it depends. Whatever is closer to perfect. Okay, meaning if you have a watch that is running -1 and you have one that's running +5 a day, well, I think you're better off with the -1. Okay, if you got one that's running, well, +1 a day and then one running 5 seconds slow, well, obviously the plus one, okay, is gonna be what you would choose. So now, hypothetically, what if you have two watches sitting there and you're gonna buy one, and one is running slow 1 second a day and one is running fast 1 second a day? Which would I choose? Well, again, I can't get that sort of bias of faster is better and out of my head, so I probably would go for the slightly faster one. But let's think about how you would set that watch. Well, if it's running fast, then what I tend to do is I tend to set it, um, and I use time.is to do this. I set it perfectly, and then each day, let's say it'll gain 1 second. So after 7 days, it'll be 7 seconds fast. Okay, and when do I reset it? Well, sometimes I'll just wait maybe for a month, and it'll be 30 seconds fast at the end of that. Okay, it's not a big deal. But you're basically going from the day when you set it, which is it's keeping perfect time, to um, less accurate on the fast side. Okay. Well, what about if it was running -1? Well, if you set it exactly right, then each day is going to lose time, and so you potentially could be late. Okay, I wouldn't do it like that. I wouldn't. After 30 days, if it's a half a minute slow, I mean that could really mess you up, train times and whatnot. So I wouldn't set it in that fashion. What I would do if I had a 1 second slow watch, I would set it, for example, 7 seconds slow. Okay, when I set it, and then that way it would be 7 seconds fast the day I set it, and then the next day it would be 6 seconds fast, and then 5 seconds fast, and after a week it would hit perfect. Okay, and what I might do is, if I didn't want to fool with it, I might just set it 30 seconds fast, and every day it would lose a second, and so after 30 days, um, it would it would be dead on. Okay, it would go towards perfection, right? Um, and there's something to be said about that. If you do that with a watch that runs fast, for example, it's running a second fast, and you set it 7 seconds slow, and then after a week it'll hit perfect. Okay, well, for that week it's going to be slightly slow, and I'm not keen about that. I think a watch should be dead on or fast. Okay, and so basically, I guess if you have a watch that runs fast, it'll be dead on and get faster, and sort of, as it progresses, deviate away from what's perfect. Whereas if you have a watch that is slow, it's going to get fast, and it's just going to get more accurate until that one day when the next day it's going to be -1. Okay, and you'll have to kind of keep that in mind. So, like, if it's 7 seconds fast, you're going to have to keep it, reset it a week later. Okay, and I guess the advantage of having one that's running fast is it's going to run fast. I mean, worst case scenario, you can, you'll just be early. Okay, you'll just be early. Whereas if it's running slow, it'll be, I guess, getting more accurate every day until that one day, and you got to keep in mind what that one day is. Okay, what if it's like I said, 7 seconds, um, if it's running a second slow, and you set it 7 seconds fast, then you got to keep in mind that one week later it's going to start running slow. Okay, so which would I prefer? Well, again, the closer to perfect is better, but I guess if I had to choose, okay, and again, this bias of faster being better, I just can't shake it. Okay, so I'd probably choose a watch that is slightly on the fast side, but it's nothing that I would really worry about. I really started appreciating my sub when it came back, which I'm wearing right now, and it was running a second slow, and that's when I started setting it fast, and so after 2 weeks it was dead on, and I thought, yeah, actually, perhaps I like this more than a fast running watch. Now these days it's sped up a bit, and so it's running about maybe plus one, I think. Okay, and I guess another factor to keep in mind for Tiger is, if it gets a little magnetized, that's going to make it run faster. So magnetization makes a watch run faster, apparently. So if it's already running slow, then a little magnetization might actually, I don't want to say do it good, but it wouldn't be as bad having a watch running slow magnetized versus one that is running fast magnetized. If you can stay with me there. Okay, I feel like this has been a kind of a rambly, weird um, um, video, and I hope it was interesting, and yeah, and I hope I'm yeah. Okay. Good question, Tiger. And -1 a day, perfect. It's fine. Yeah, just enjoy it and set it a little fast, and I think you'll like that. Okay, thank you for watching and putting up with this video. Take care.